wanting more. Yakaya love for it. Welcome, Wankai. I love it. What? Jaisa. There was a can of eat. Can ever move. Open my German and ye. Kia Dulaga. Kia Babama. Kia Betana. Hello, Manumana Kinkalanda. Musuno Kunde. Musuno Labai. Kia Betana. Epatipatia. Kia Betana. Allah Papa Papa. Yakalala tusa. Allah Jomeli Bibame. Allah Yadulaka. Yadulaka. Yalukelo. Yasikema. Yakalala tusa. Oya Kayele. Alojina Pila. No la vaya, no to say, hello, Maranana, set my boy woman, I'm on the board. Yabama, Yabetana, if they were hello, I'm there to say now. I can be sick, Yaku, Yakama, Abetana, the neighbor, I said, my white kite, Adulakai. I'm over there, no. I pass the go be a man. I take care of Kelo. And when I know, then I'm on all of Pandia. Yanaba, Bila. Yakamo, the Bonak. I bet you, yes, I said, Yakashama. What I want your belly. I want a bone on your way. I love a weedy Wadiana. Lieutenant Jaguar. I get that Jaguar guy. I must have to silo it. Come on, boy, in your care. I love that yellow Nojabana. Who was Sakai? Yes, so bella. I know la bay. Mama no kunde. Mama no la bay. Sele sele o sele o sele. Sele sele o sele o sele. Watch out, bro. You know what I'm saying? See, get a watch out. In the baby. You like go down. Mama jam me wa bo. Aha. Ya kila nuwa. Nda ya kila wa je ma o kana ma ma o. Nda ma ko yo.
Gotta get out completely. Yeah, you gotta get out completely. All right, we're facing some really technical problem. We're still trying to build a link between our studio and, of course, our studio guest, our would-be studio guest. But technology is not yet in our favor, but we're still working on it. Hopefully, we're going to get grips of it soon. Well, welcome to the program, the Max K Talk Show. We do sincerely apologize. We experienced some technical problem that we have to get out completely and come back in. But yes, by the grace of God, we shall have this interview by Mr. Benedict Phillips, who is the president of the Association of Bong Manners in the USA. But I take some batch of this song. Let me go to Freetown. Let me go to Sierra Leone and ask our brothers there to do us a special song here while we stay await the technical issue to be resolved. And we can't get our brother through the video. We really wanted to see him as well, talking to us, but that's still being proven difficult. In the meantime, please take your time to also share the video, where we will appreciate as well. Thank you very, very much. And thank you for coming back. Those of you that were here earlier, and you have to leave because of a technology problem.
Tell them say you there. Tell them say you there. Tell you never, tell them say you there. Tell them say you there. Yeah. We just send them go down. 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 Tell them say you there. Tell them say you there. Tell you never, tell them say you there. Tell them say you there. We just send them go down. We just send them go down. Yeah. We just send them go down. We just send them go down. German there. Look, Mami Talabi, and Pape Charlie. Yeah, and you go to see Bodu, and you marry Bodu. Today, I put you. Monday, I'll see you in a bad. Oh, tell them, say you there. Yeah, we dey send them go down. Tell them, we dey send them go down. Yeah, we dey send them go down. Tell them, we dey send them go down.
The sound sensation come from the nation.
Oh, technology, eh?
Mind the day that we know. Do the dancing and the go down low. All my men chatty. Yeah, rocky, yeah. I need you there. Stabby again. Give me stout. Who's inside there? They gonna make you a jelly. Tell it over now. Tell them say you there. Tell you never. Tell them say you there. Tell you never. Tell them say you there. Tell them say you there. Yeah. We dey send them go down. 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 We dey send them go down.
Everything is not going well here, so it's going to be a bit difficult. Connection failed. Mr. Benedict, Mr. Phillips, I think we have to go on the other line. It's not going to work. It's not going to work for some reason. All right, welcome back. It's not going to work. We're going to take you online too. Yeah, it's not working. The option, Facebook is not. Yeah, connection failed. So it's not going to work. So call us online too. Let's kick the ball rolling. Sincerely apologize. I have no reason why. I don't know. So, but let's go back online too and see. Hello, sir. Are you there? Okay. Yeah, give me 1 minute. Just give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Okay. Yeah, just give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute, please. Yeah, you're on already with me. I was just about to share it when you came on, so I'm just trying to send that link. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome you back to the Max K Talk Show. Of course, we've been trying hard to get our studio guest, Mr. Benedict Phillips, but he's here now, finally. We're going to go into the discussion because we're far beyond time or so. Mr. Phillips, welcome back.
And I actually want to join you to apologize for the technical difficulties that the show is encountering in getting me on live. I hope I have another chance to do this in the next 1 or 2 days, if I can just personally plead for myself.
Thank you very much, and definitely, we will still have to, create that room that you will come. We all can see you live as you're talking to us as well, so that at least mostly sometimes the phone line, people like to call on the phone line. So when I have my guests on the video, then the phone line can be for those that will be calling, and sometimes somebody just want to pay homage or so. But anyway, let's start. Let's keep the ball rolling for today, and we'll see how things will be for the near future as well. And bringing you back here so we can talk more about the Association of Bone Miners in the USA. Welcome back.
Thank you.
All right, let's start now. We wanted to hear a little bit about you. Just take a few seconds for those new people coming in again. So let's know Mr. Phillips a bit, and tell us what you're up to at the moment.
All right. So, and again, thank you. My name is Benedict Phillips. Currently serving as the national president of the Association of Bone Miners here in the United States. I am completing my first term this July, next week, as a matter of fact, and I am, by way of commercial here, running for a second and final term to complete some of the work that we've already started. I am from Bong Mines, grew up there, started school over there when I was a 6-year-old, 7-year-old kid. Started from J.D.K. Baker Elementary School, went to Zariga Elementary School, Virginia High School, and graduated, and matriculated to Bongtown School, where I graduated in 1996. My life included just going to Germany just shortly after the war, where I completed my training as a registered nurse. I currently serve here in the U.S. As an emergency response nurse at some major healthcare facility here in the Washington D.C. area. But I've never forgotten our roots, from which we've come. Bone Mines has been a very, very, very has given us a solid foundation, and folks have helped us along the way. And so it's incumbent upon us right now to form the Association of Bone Miners, which has been in existence since 1996, way back in Liberia. And we are here in the U.S. to strengthen the arm of the Association of Bone Miners here in the United States. And I'm very proud to serve as the president of the association, and looking forward to bringing the community together and making sure that we can get back to the folks that give us the foundation, Bone Mines first and Liberia second.
Wow. It's a pleasure to have you on, and it's great to know to know a bit about you as well. Thank you so much for everything you've been doing as well. Out, especially Liberians in the diaspora, meaning, especially when you mention the word, I've not forgotten home, that means a lot. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Okay. You hear me because I have to play with some kind of technology. You hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, good. So it's a pleasure. But Mr. Phillips, you perhaps you've been away from Liberia for maybe a couple of years now. But first of all, let's start off with if you mentioned bomb mines, and when I was growing up as a boy in Monrovia, I used to hear a lot of good news about bomb mines, and every time they say, "Oh, the payday today in bomb mines," we can just hear it with the small children, and then sometimes people will go there for a whole weekend, a day, and before they can come back, I say bomb mine was bomb mines. Anyway, I would say like I don't know how long you spent there, but as a child growing up in bomb mines, how was it like?
So before I go to your question, Max, I've not been away from Liberia for a long time. So obviously there was a civil crisis. I left. I finally to go to Germany in 1992. 5 years later, or 17 years later, I went back to Liberia for the first time, and this was probably went back. And ever since, it's been I've been going back to Liberia at least twice a year until the Ebola crisis that gave me a little turn there where we did not go to Liberia for like 2 years. But to your question, and this year alone we've been in Liberia twice. So to bone mines particularly because of the work we do here for the Association of Bone Miners. So Liberia is always on our mind. Bone mines bone mines runs in our bloodstream. Growing up in bone mines, it was a very, very unique experience. I'm sorry you didn't get to really see bone mines at its peak. So imagine a country, imagine a place, a city, very exclusive from everywhere, that all the roads were paved, it had infrastructure, it had education structure, it had legal system, it had healthcare system, it had educational system. Imagine a city that just worked, that had folks getting paid every day, every 2 weeks, sending their children to school, had food, had the potential to use any of their children to go to any school in Liberia or even outside Liberia. So imagine that city with all of that potential. We're talking about 24 hours electrification, clean running water. Bong Mines was a unique place. It sat in near the Bong Range in Bong County, and we were satisfied. It was a melting pot. We had folks from Germany, folks from Holland, folks from Italy, folks from all around the world mingling with Liberians, and that spirit is what we've tried to reinvigorate in this organization, that we are all one, that we are all one, and we look at more things that bring us together than things that divide us.
So in terms of, your memories with respect to what happened, and because you're going back to Bong Mines since after 2003, that definitely Bong Mines is no longer how it used to be, maybe the way you're describing it to us. Where were you during those periods between 1989 to 2003, and how was things?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question.
I was asking, with respect to what happened in our country, hearing all of this wonderful description of bomb mines during the days that you've been making mention of. But then, between 1989 to 2003, the country was hit by this civil war also. You as a son of Bong mines who saw things those days, the way you describing them, going back after 2003, I mean, are there any memories that you can share with us? Do you think you regret what really happened to the nation itself?
Well, just following my bylaws, which prohibits me from talking political issues and stuff like that. But obviously, looking at Bong mines now and looking at what it was before, obviously we have regrets that our infrastructure is gone, our school is gone, our hospital is gone, and all of those. But basically, the restoration of that community is back in our hands, and we need to lead the front of restoring that community, and that's what we at the Association of Bong Miners are doing at this time.
All right. Just to remind you, this is a Mike's K Talk Show, and on our guest on the show today as a guest is Mr. Benedict Phillips. He is the president of the Association of Bong Miners in the USA, and of course we're talking about the association as well. We're just trying to know him a little bit. Now, Philip, Benedict, if you care to tell us, indeed, you must have grown up in a home that maybe there were too many, maybe there were a lot of children, and life was the way perhaps you wanted it to be, and take us in your house. How was it? What was the discipline like? Because I'm trying to get picture here. I try to remind Liberians that we had a culture before, a culture of respect, but now it's all gone. The moment you speak to, or you even post something that somebody doesn't want to read or hear about, they will insult you or so. But take us, how was it? What do you remember about your upbringing? I mean, and that you can really say, well, if you compare and contrast, it was far better than what you're hearing today or what you say.
Absolutely, and Mark, that can be attributed to changing times, pretty much. With changing times, obviously, when I was growing up in Bong mines, my brother was like a father figure to me. So I grew up. I was raised by my brother Denny, and he raised all his brothers and sisters. Obviously, he was the father figure to us, and discipline obviously was key, number one, so that kind of prepared us to be where we are today, because we respected elders, we mind our own business, we were looking more towards friendship than any confrontations with anyone. But Bong mines was just a unique place that we all kind of lived together, and it was just very fun. Obviously, things have changed now, and we have to understand what our country is going through, or what the world is going through as a whole. So things have changed, and people will change as things change.
All right. So let's come to this organization. I think because we started late, please, I was just about to message you. Please just write write a message and send me, because we started late. Maybe we don't know your program, but now we should have covered 1 hour into it. But the way we started almost 1 hour late. If there's anything you want me to let maybe you want us to stop in the middle of whatever it is, then you can let me know. But the platform is here for you. We'll always invite you for you to come back and talk to us.
Thank you.
Now, Bong mines, Association of Bong mines in the USA. When maybe some people say, "Well, I mean, Bong miners are they're supposed to be in Liberia. They're supposed to be in Bong mines, and they're supposed to be, working towards the advocating for those that are in Bong mines also. But you guys are all the way in America. Tell us reasons why you people have decided to set up the Association of Bong miners in the USA. Were all of you actually working for Bong mines?
No, and to answer the latter question, why we decide to form the association, which was formed a lot of years ago. But the answer to that is simple: to give back to a community that meant so much to us. Another thing, to foster that sisterly and brotherly good relationship that we have with each other, that our parents have with our parents, our brothers have with our brothers, our sisters have with our sisters. We try to recreate that. We may be in a different part of the world, but Bong miners remain strong and firm and committed to each other and giving back to that little town that I spoke about earlier, that had everything, that gave us everything, and thus it's incumbent upon us to give back. Most of us didn't work at Bong mines. Again, I was a kid. Most of the folks that are in this association right now most of them are, I'm talking about just the officials, and other people are all children of Bong mines. And this association is expanding to all the folks. If you've ever lived in Bong mines, even if it is before the war, after the war, during the war, it doesn't matter. If you even slept in Bong mines, then even if you were just a friend of a Bong miner, you are welcome into this association. So our base is limitless. Our base is expanded to our children that we even had here, who have never stepped foot on the African continent, but they are also part of the Bong mine community. And that's what we're trying to foster, to be able to have a bigger net so that our contributions can be meaningful.
So in terms of the scope of the leadership itself, how is it? When were you formed? And, do you cover the entire America, or so? Where are you?
Yeah, the official name of the association is the Association of Bong Miners in the Diaspora, but we have the strongest base here in the United States, and thus we want to strengthen that and then truly expand to other countries, but that will be left for the residents of those countries. So we have 2 members who live in Canada, for example. So we expand our wings to those people as well. And we're looking forward to the folks in England to kind of root up the Association of Bong Miners in the UK or something like that. We're looking forward to that. One of the things as president here is I'm on the mission to basically connect Bong miners wherever they are. I just last week returned from Germany, where there was the Bong miners, expatriates who worked in Bong mines, who had kids there and children of those people, and even Liberians who lived in Bong mines at the time. We met in Dusseldorf, and we had a unique Bong mines experience, and it was remarkable. And it is one of those things that we try to replicate around the world.
So in terms of what you do, take us through the question of why have you decided to come together, even though you are not in Liberia, even though you told us, majority of you never even worked for Bong mines or so. Yes, Bong mines is a community, but the moment you call for Bong mines, the first impression of any Liberian would be, that the company, okay, this and that. But why this organization, and why have you decided to come together under this umbrella?
And to just rephrase, absolutely, for us to be able to again relay that great togetherness, that networking, and give back to the community. And Max, I'll tell you this: if every community in Liberia, can take care of itself, okay? If every community can take care of itself, it is, you got a hospital, you got a school, you got all of that stuff going. Basically, the entire country develops.
Mm-hmm.
So it is communities that make countries great, that make countries better, that make countries what they are. Take for instance, if you were in your community and your community is always clean, the community is always lively, the community has life, the community has a great hospital, and the next community has the same thing. Basically, the country in itself exponentially becomes developed. And so this is the same concept we have for bone mines. So for example, we are currently having a charity ball fundraiser this next Saturday to raise money for Bong Mine Community Hospital that is in shambles right now in Bong Mines. I've taken about 3 to 4 trips now in the last 2 years to Bong Mines to do feasibility studies and see how we can revamp Bong Mines Hospital. As you know, I don't know if you know this, but Bong Mines Hospital used to be one of the best hospitals in Liberia.
Yeah, I heard that.
And where it is right now, we want to take it from there and make it one of the best again. So just right now, as I speak to you, the Association of Bone Miners in the United States shipped a 40-foot container containing medical equipment, medical supplies, food items, in the total tune of up to about 250,000 United States dollars.
Wow.
The network of that container is now at the port of Monrovia, and efforts are being made to get it out. And that presentation should be made within 2 weeks or so. So we are going to set that up, and we're going to start making that hospital to be one of the best again. And these are some of the things communities can do that can change the country. And bone miners are leading the way.
Wow. Wow, these are news I love to hear. When I'm hearing the kind of news, it's like I don't even want somebody to stop talking. Just keep telling me more. But ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Benedict Phillips.
They are doers. They're not talkers. They are doers.
That's great. And so we have here Mr. Benedict Phillips here, who is the president of the Association of Bone Miners in the United States, and of course, he's just been telling us as well, wanting to even spread this across the globe as well. And trust me, I have a cousin who was born in Bone Mine. He's so passionate about Bone Mine. I'm going to connect you and him so you can give him more idea as to how he can actually start the association here as well.
Thank you.
Now, composition of mostly for some of us who run charitable initiative. I've been into this charity team for years now, and also giving back to Liberia. But sometimes it's always somebody would develop that idea, and you will need people around you to actually accept the dream and work together and be able to put it forward. In terms of Liberians, we're kind of laid back in most of these kind of developments also. What you just told us about the 44 container is so encouraging. How did you go about to, bring a community together, not the whole Liberian, but just a community together, bone miners together, or those who were born in bone mines also? How did you do that? And at the end of the day, who do you think will benefit from what you sent to Liberia?
So obviously, the entire country of Liberia will benefit from Bone Mine Hospital being a big and good and efficient hospital, right? Mm-hmm. So even though it's in Bone Mines, Liberia benefits. So Max, that when people are ill, when there's and the facilities currently cannot support all of the different kind of illnesses that are going on in Liberia. Some people are fortunate to be able to leave to go to other neighboring countries and get those treatments. Imagine if a hospital like Bone Mines could, particularly work in such a way that folks didn't have to go to other countries. They could just drive. At least it's cheaper. You can get a pension, or you can get a motorcycle, or you can get a taxi cab to take you to Bong mines. Folks in Kagata obviously will benefit. Folks in Harbel will benefit. Folks as far as Ganta and even Monrovia can benefit if there was something in Bong mines that could basically take care of their needs instead of going out of the country. That would be more expensive. So not only is not just Bong miners that will benefit, or the people in the immediate vicinity of Bong mines, but Liberia benefits. And your question about how do you corral this kind of effort? You find people like Bong miners, like the Association of Bong Miners, who are solution driven. So I can tell you, Max, Liberia, all of us, the problems are in our country, in Africa, and everywhere. But we can sit together and just enumerate the problems all day. We can talk about the problems all day. But you need to find people who can deal with solutions, who can find them, who are pretty much strong in developing solutions and identifying them. And you find people of like minds to be able to do some of the things that you want to do, that can develop, that can bring solutions instead of just talking about the problem. Because you can talk about the problem all day. If you don't take steps to mitigate that, the solutions, if you don't bring out solutions, you will never move forward. And that's why we look for like miners. Bong miners are like mind folks. They know where this comes from. They know how to get there. And we are basically leading that way.
All right, his name is Mr. Benedict Phillips. Of course, he is the president of the Association of Bong Miners across the United States of America. Of course, he just told us that they are now trying to, in fact, extend the organization, their membership across the globe. So for those of you listening from other part of the world, if you're listening from Canada, here in Europe, wherever you are and you are interested, get in touch with me. I can link you with Mr. Phillips, so you can take it from there. We're going to take a very short musical break. When we come back, we will continue with the Association of Bong Miners, especially as it is represented by the president. Let's take a short musical break. Welcome back to the show. We are back on the Max K Talk Show. It's great to be here this afternoon, of course, and we have Mr. Phillips, who is the president of the Association of Bong Miners, as our studio guest on the Max K Talk Show. Mr. Phillips, in terms of the composition of membership, do you, how is it like? Do you specifically? Does one have to, first of all, be born in Bong mines? Or if, for example, I'm from Bong mines and my children are born in the States, and of course they are all adults also, can you also become member of the association?
So, as stipulated before, you can you don't have to even physically live in Bong mines. You can be a member of the Association of Bone Miners, even if you never step your foot in Liberia or anywhere, we take, if you sympathize with the cause of what the Association of Bone Miners stands for, you can become a member. So children, friends, relatives, co-workers, everyone can become a member of the Association of Bone Miners without being born or having lived in Liberia or in bone mines.
What's about, for example, maybe I hear from bone mines. I live here in England or in the UK. Let me say UK, but then I don't have, up to, I don't, maybe just my one that is here. How can I go about in identifying with you people, since I can't set up the annex here or an extension of association here?
If you are alone somewhere, a bone miner anywhere, Bangladesh, UK, Azerbaijan, and you don't have an association there, we will take you in. We can have ad hoc members from anywhere. We'll take you in. So if you feel we're doing the right thing and the Association of Bone Miners here in the U.S. is the right place, you can contribute to the cause of giving back to bone mines. We will take you.
All right, let's go back to the community itself, right on the ground in Liberia. Yes, you just told us how helpful you guys want to be in terms of the healthcare. But besides the healthcare, which is quite paramount as well, are there any other, engagement with the young people, with older people, with everybody that actually live currently in bone mines? What are those?
Yes, absolutely. So the Association of Bone Miners, we are practical people. Okay, so we take one thing at a time. Let me just say, so my administration, for example, will tackle this issue with the hospital first. And why the hospital? We wanted to identify a project that will cross-sectionally address everyone, right? So, if you're educated, you need a hospital. If you're not educated, you need a hospital.
Yeah.
If you're a child, you need a hospital. If you're adult, you need a hospital. If you're a newborn baby today, you need a hospital. If you're a pregnant woman, you need a hospital. If you're a man, you need a hospital. So the hospital for us was the first thing that we wanted to tackle. The platform of the Association of Bone Miners is enormous. Education, health, empowerment, youth mobilization, all of these. Anything that brings a community vibrant, sports and academics, all of that is inclusive. But we want to be realistic. We want to be very realistic. In our country, we have so many problems, and we can tackle them one at a time so that we're not distracted. We're not just doing something haphazardly. So that's why the hospital made sense at the time, and my administration is putting these resources in. And obviously, once that is solved, we'll move on to the next thing.
Now, in terms of what you've got, and you now you as you said, it is in Liberia. The container is in Liberia also. How are you going to ensure that perhaps it is safely delivered, despite the fact you are not on the ground as the president or the leader of the organization?
So the Association of Bone Miners Liberia branch, through its collaboration with the Association of Bone Miners United States branch, have been working hand in hand even before this thing started. So remember, I just told you that I was in Liberia twice this year already. The first trip was basically to learn what hurdles are there to go through if you send stuff up there. The second trip was about to re-verify and really see what was needed in that place, that we're not just sending stuff to them. So all of those trips we took were basically to soften this container shipment, so that and we are not just sending these things, Max. We will send them, and we will inventory them, and we will verify stuff every time. Bone miners will be from the Association of Bone Miners will be in Liberia every 6 months. We will re-inventory those things. Our biggest overall picture is to make sure that if we send this piece of metal to that hospital, when we come back, that it's still there. And we will hold people accountable for that. And we've already had those very tough discussions. So that's how we are going to ensure that.
You know, Mr. Phillips, let me pick on something because I had an experience with one organization from the UK who helped the Redemption Hospital a couple of years ago. And perhaps in your container, you could have an instrument of that nature. An incubator was donated to the hospital, Redemption Hospital in Monrovia. And what the donors did, they just went and donated it to the hospital. And they left. But from the day they made that donation, up to maybe after 4 or 5 years, this incubator was just sitting there, despite the fact that the need for it was actually paramount because babies were being born prematurely. But then there was nobody there knew how to operate it. If you have such a machine right now in that in a container, do you have people on hand that will go and teach people how to use those skills, those machines, so that at least they can just be there as decorations?
That is correct, and that is one of the things that that's how the Association of Bone Miners is a little bit different from every other Liberian organization or any other organization. So besides the verification process, these things will be sent over there. We have a team of nurses and doctors who will go down there to teach folks. So this is a continuous process. We're not just sending stuff and then letting it go. So this is a continuous process where we will train folks. We will how to use things, how to place things. There's a lot of stuff we're going to be doing. So remember, at least once or twice a year, a group of us, once that hospital is set up, a group of us and other volunteers from here in the U.S., surgeons, nurses, and all of that, can go back to Liberia every now and then and do medical missions there. And that's how that will be maintained. Because maintenance is the issue. It's not just sending the stuff there. And what you alluded to, I've seen firsthand in Liberia as well. But that is not going to deter us from giving back to that community.
Yeah, in fact, I was just coming to that point of this professionalism or professionals who hail from Liberia. We have so many in the diaspora. I experienced this when I took a visit to Ghana on the holiday. I went to Accra. Coincidentally, I bounced into Full Olo guys. We just sitting down amusing ourselves, and from one point to another conversation, I got to know that these guys. It was just the right season that they have gone back home in good numbers. And every year they go back home. They will pick a project. They say, okay, this year we're going to deal with eyes problems. So Ghanaians that are professional in the area, they will go from one village to another, treating people and things. They say, so the guys told me, say, we do this every year. We've been going now for nearly 5 years. I said, wow, really? So I was just coming to that to ask you the same question, because what you have putting in right now, that's huge in terms of getting the equipment, getting medication, and taking it to Liberia. That's one thing. But then on the side of those skills, those qualified nurses also, like what you just said, which of course is, if you just care to elaborate more, but we are we going to see that happening every time and then in terms of what I just threw lights on?
If we're going to have feedback, you said?
No, I mean in terms of just to elaborate more, because you started talking about it a little bit, and I was just sharing with you the experience I had when I went to Ghana. I say, is the Association of Bob Miners going to do similar thing every year or so?
That is correct. That is the plan, and so this is not going to be just a one-off thing. We intend to support and continue to really monitor whatever project we undertake and support that project from start to finish and then continuously as well.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that just joined us, we are on the Max Cato show, and of course our studio guest is Mr. Benedict Phillips. He is the president of the Association of Bob Miners in the USA. Of course, we are almost just about to finish because I have another guest coming in from all the way Tanzania, so we have to wrap on this. But our promise is that we have to bring Mr. Phillips back here so we can talk more about this wonderful initiative. But Mr. Phillips, let's see whether we can wrap up for now, because the technology took most of our time, and I got another schedule coming up for an interview. What is it you want to, maybe what is a word of encouragement or so that you want to share with us, or Liberians, especially those of us in the diaspora, in terms of how we can actually get close to our own country?
My only advice there is basically to not focus on the problems, but focus on solving the problems. So focusing on solutions. And then just that, since we're close to time, some of our bone miners who are here in the U.S. and are following, and even in Liberia and everywhere else, I like to push our quick efforts here. Some of the way we get resources is through these conventions that we have. This next weekend, exactly 1 week from today, we are having a convention in Laurel, Maryland. So that's July 5th, July 6th, and July the 7th. So on the 5th, we have a welcome meet and greet in Laurel, Maryland. On the 6th, we begin with our business meeting in the park to discuss the affairs of the association. We're also going to have election at the park that day, and after which we will take a bus tour to Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, at the Senate building. We will do 2 tours there. We will go to the Senate, and we will go to some important monuments to take a tour of Washington, D.C. After the tour, we'll return to Laurel, Maryland, and get ready for the big fundraiser, to the charitable ball fundraising event to benefit Bong Community Hospital. That event is the 6th. It starts at 8:30 p.m. Time is of the essence. I'm asking everyone to be on time. If you live in Liberia, you have a brother who is a bone miner or sister who is a bone miner who live here in the U.S., encourage them to come, because we need to shoulder our own responsibility first for anybody to help us. We need to be in the front of finding the solutions to our problem before anyone can help us. So call your brothers and sisters here in the U.S. to support, even if they're not from Beaumont and they're in Maryland that day. They can come and support this, because remember how we talk about this, Max, that this is to benefit Liberia in general. And Sunday, we're going to close out on Sunday with a church service, and we're going to have a farewell barbecue, again in the park, to associate, socialize, and reconnect with each other, and continue the good work of the Association of Bone Miners. And also, in closing, I want to thank all the Bong miners here in the United States and elsewhere who supported us. There are some Bong miners, I tell you this, someone in Somalia who works there, who sends his dues every year. He doesn't only send his dues, he sends more than his dues. We're talking about thousands of dollars. So we want to, I as president, want to really thank those who have been committed to getting the community together and helping us to give us their resources and their time to make this association where it is today. We can do great things and we will do better things. And I want to thank my staff, the dynamic vice president, Mr. Andy Cole, the dynamic secretary general, Mr. D.N. Williams, the dynamic and progressive financial secretary, Mr. Abbas Dumboy, treasurer Rose Zuba, and our spiritual leader and chaplain, Sarah Jackson. Thank you, Max.
Just before we take leave of you, you know, nowadays the social media is a way of getting to each other quickly. Do you have a Facebook page that you can read to people or to share later on under this video that people can reach you?
That is correct. Association of Bong Miners in the Diaspora has a Facebook page. We have a website, bongminers.org, and we are on every platform possible.
All right, Mr. Phillips, on this note, we want to appreciate you very, very much for, of course, giving us your time this afternoon. But like I promised, we will always invite you here, hopefully in a couple of weeks for you, maybe especially after the event you have coming up, so that we can hear from you. But let me hold you there. The thing, I'm getting a call from abroad. Okay, from the States. Let's hear from this individual or the person that is calling. Caller, good afternoon. Caller, good afternoon. Right. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome.
Yes, how you doing?
I'm very well. Let's hear your name and where you're calling from and what is it about.
Yeah, this is Prince, man. I'm calling from Tennessee in the United States.
Welcome, Prince. It's a pleasure having you on. I don't know, you've been following. We're having Mr. Phillips on, who is the president of the Association of Bong Miners, sharing with us what they are doing, citizen from that end, and how they're doing it. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I want to commend the individual for what he's doing. I live in Marguerite. I used to go to Bong Mine. I have friends and family there as well. And I want to thank him so much for his initiative and whatever he's doing. I want to commend all those who are taking up such bold challenge and helping whatever way they can. But if you read my comment, I indicated in my comment that yes, we in the diaspora are taking on immense challenge and making such a great sacrifice and being asked to do more for our country. But on the other hand, we see a complete contrast in, with that of the government, because we are asking people in the diaspora to take on these initiatives. And some of these people are barely struggling. I mean, and government, and they are government officials in the government, and the officials are living lavish life and luxury life. Some government officials made 3 times more than some of these people we are asking to go to the charity and help the country. We got government officials making 7,000, 10,000. We got people in the country, Liberia, in the diaspora, barely make those money. Even if they make those money, they have other obligations. They have to pay their mortgage, they have to pay bills, they have to pay student loan, they have to do a lot of things. So at the end of the day, only a little bit of expendable cash that is left for them. But yet they are working, they are doing very good, they are taking initiative. Like my brother who is on the phone, the effort he's doing is commendable. So, but that's the kind of disconnect that I'm really concerned with. And that's why it's frustrating. We have our government officials living in luxury, they're buying bigger homes in America, They come here, they show flamboyancy to us. Then we are asked to do the thing they are supposed to be doing, what they are paid to do, and they are doing nothing. So that's I just wanted to comment on that. But I just want to thank my brother for what he's doing. I appreciate it so much.
All right, Prince. We appreciate your thoughts as well. Thank you very much as well.
Yes.
All right. That's how we are going to call it a day today on the show here, on the Masquerade Talk Show. Of course, our studio guest already left off. All right, this is how we come to the end of the show. This afternoon, in the next 45 minutes, we'll be in Tanzania. We'll be talking about albinos, or albinism. But just to let you know, for those of you who did follow the issue of the Modern Me project or the Modern Me Foundation in Liberia, I got a communication this morning. As of that communication, Modern Me Foundation is now shut down in Liberia. Modern Me Foundation is now shut down in Monrovia with immediate effect. Try to after I got the letter, I wanted to actually reach them. As usual, I went on their website. The website is also down as we speak. So the Modern Me Foundation, after the panel report, the independent panel report that came out, which I've been reading here and sharing with you, even today, they have come up now finally to say that they have accepted everything, all the blames and everything. They are taking the great, they have taken the responsibilities, and all those DOORS of Academy will be finally closed on the 30th of June 2019. So that's the latest there for those of you that have been following that story. Those of you that will be advocating for social justice, for the true justice to come out. That is the news there that came coming out. I will share with you the letter on my timeline so you can read it as well. But yet and still, for us, for me, that's not the end. Until Modern Me can set up a trust fund to assist, to help all of those children were affected, until we can set up a trust fund to cater to those children and their family people. I am not going to rest, even if Modern Me doors are shut in Liberia. If the trust fund is put together, if they can still go to court and, of course, Modern Me versus the Republic of Liberia, and punish those that were responsible, let them pay compensation, I will be satisfied. Okay? Yeah, the kids, some of them, they have left them with huge challenges for the rest of their lives. And so we do not only accept you closing the doors of Modern Me in Liberia, but we want you to do the right thing. A trust fund must be set up immediately. Compensations must be paid now to those that came out, the kids that came out, and those that will come out later. I want you to take care of them. It was your responsibility to have protected the children. From my end, I want to say thank you, thanks a million. May God bless you. May God bless the continent of Africa. Like I always say, may God bless them. May God bless Mama Liberia. In the next couple of minutes, I'll be in Tanzania. We'll be talking about albinos or albinism. How albinos are going through challenges in that part of Africa. Until then, this is Masquerade Mix. Thank you very much and God bless you.
so bella.